we get stuck in certain parts of our existence. Some of us are stuck at the level of the memory, and that happens more as you grow older, and if things are going downhill, then you get stuck in your memories. Oh, we lived here, it was so nice then. And the memories have a habit of getting whitewashed. You know what whitewashing is? Something they do in India. But once ever so often, you know, it rains a lot in India, and the houses get like really a lot of mold and all of that. So what they do, they put like a coat of primer, and they call it whitewashing. It's a very cheap paint. So it makes everything white, all the dirt, everything's underneath it, right? It's not removed, it's all been whitewashed. So that's what we have a habit of doing with memories. My sister, when she first got married, she left India. Then she took it was about 2 years before she could come back and visit. In those 2 years, she had completely cleaned up the streets of Bombay. And it was spick and span, right? And she would fight non-stop with everybody around her, saying how clean and how beautiful Bombay was. And then when she landed, she got completely shocked at the sights and the smells, because it was not that, it had in fact deteriorated. She had cleaned it up. So, you know, the two were like really far apart. They were not, her memories of Bombay was nothing like what it really was. Memories, when you get stuck in memories, it can never give you the true picture. Because, I mean, some of us here, not all of us, have had babies. Do you have an accurate memory of the pain? You know you had some pain, right? Some pain. But can you actually remember pain? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. That's why you have a second baby. Because if you could actually remember the pain accurately, you would never go in for the second baby, right? So, not only that, you know, I don't know if a lot of us used to have those Instamatic cameras, right? And you take the whole roll and then you take it again, a mistake, and you'd get them all superimposed one on top of the other.
Yep.
You'd get those 2-in-1s. That's what memories are like. You mix up your thoughts and your memories. And what really comes back in the present when you're recalling is just certain flashes. You know, disjointed flashes, little pictures. Your memories never come back like a movie. Never ever. Your memories of your past life also don't come back like a movie. They come back as little images, little flashes. Yet we get stuck in our memory, those were great times. We had such a great time. You know, we went out every night. You've forgotten all the fights that you had with him and all the times that, you know, he didn't let you wear what you wanted to wear. You've forgotten all of those. All the good times. That was such a lovely time to be. Oh, I loved Mexico. I lived there. It was so nice. We could barely breathe, but it was so nice, you know. Well, my daughter developed severe breathing problems in Mexico City. But we like to go back to those memories that are beautiful. Okay. How about those memories that are really painful? We like that even more. Even more. Because the mind is constantly telling you, that's a good memory. Very good thought to have. Oh, he never supported me when I was having that fight with my sister. He never supported me when I was, you know, arguing with his mom. And that one fight can go on for several years. I mean, at this age, perhaps we've forgotten all those fights, but when you're in your 30s and 40s, those become really important. Those become extremely important, and they kind of control your entire the mood for the entire day. You can be talking about something that took place some time ago, and just keep talking about it. It's not like it's ever solved. Especially if there's like a family drama, the one where everybody was involved. How could she have said that? And how did they say that? And my God, it's really, they've become really bad. I can't imagine they're behaving in such a terrible way to us, Those family dramas, we can talk about it for hours, and they change in character. From what it was perhaps just a 20-minute conversation, but it's changed. We've talked about it for days and months and years and held on to all those resentments that we've had as a result of that, not forgiven people. And as a result of not forgiving, we've kept it in our conscious mind, not even in our subconscious mind, and spent hours of valuable time just feeling terrible. When you get stuck with bad memories, the result is that you've just lost the moment. You just totally lost it. How many of us can catch that as it's happening? That feeling of being unsettled, feeling of being, oh my God, not in a good place. Because these kind of memories, they bring out the worst in you. They bring out all the sad, the negative qualities that you possess, the envy, the jealousy, the anger. And who feels bad? Not that person who hurt you 10 years ago. That person has really moved on and probably having the time of his life. But you're still sitting brooding over that. And we all have certain things that have happened in our lives that we keep going back to, if you remember them. To a large extent, I think I have been very blessed. I don't remember. I have a very bad memory. I don't remember too many things that have happened in the past. Yes, I do have a few that I need to release, but I don't have too many of those. When I was in high school, I had a principal who had it in for me. She just did not like me. I couldn't figure out what I needed to do to, sort of please her. And I did want to please her. I wanted to be, we had a system where it's a British system, so you have houses that you belong to, and then you have elections, you become head girl, which is the most important, most popular girl in the school. And I knew that I was the most popular girl in school. But she did not allow me to stand for election. And that, in my final year of school, was such a traumatic event for me that I really did very badly in my school finals. It affected every part of my life. It affected my self-confidence. It affected my self-esteem. It affected everything. It was only maybe a year or two ago that I forgave her, literally forgave her for doing that to me, because she was the first person who made me realize that life has disappointments. It doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. I never learned my lesson then because I was a child. But you must teach your children this lesson early in life, as early as possible. That, life has disappointment, so it doesn't become a bad memory for them in the future. They don't go through the emotional turmoil. that it's always a good thing. See, we don't realize that. And no matter how much my mother said, no, it doesn't matter what she says, you're still the most popular girl, you know, it didn't matter to me. For me, it mattered that she didn't let me stand for elections and I didn't become head girl of school. And who becomes head girl? My closest friend. Makes it even harder, right? She's your best friend in the whole world. And she's head girl. And you want to feel happy for her, but deep inside, it's like, my God, that belongs to me. That's mine. And she's taken it away from me. It's a huge lesson, huge learning curve. But it took me a long time. And forgiving really made me feel so free. Because I learned one thing from my master, a very important mantra, which helped me, and it's, so what? I mean, are you all bothered by the fact that my principal didn't let me stand for election? Any of you in this room? No, right? Nobody's bothered.
A little bit.
But what I mean is that in the big picture, and you know, in the final analysis, what does it matter? So I didn't make it to head girl. It really doesn't matter. And when I look back and say that was such a learning curve for me, it brought me down from ego to human being, existence. That ego was in a minute smashed. You are nothing. That was a lesson. You are nothing. And we need to learn that lesson really fast. Because that ego can only lead to arrogance. And I realize that now. Forgiving Sister Daphne was the best thing I've ever done. I truly appreciate what she did for me. And now when I think of that memory and you know what I went through, I'm like, you're such a silly girl. You could have seen it in a different light. You could have seen it in a different light. But see, at that age, we didn't have the spiritual background to show us the way, right? It was all about success. It was all about doing, you know, winning at all costs. And we teach our kids the same thing, that they must win at all costs. But it's really not about winning, it's about learning. It's about learning. So your memories then become good. You're not holding on to these trauma-filled memories. You know, because we've put in so much of emotion into those moments that they form impressions. They form impressions. And that's why we remember them. We remember them. So when you have memories, have physical ones. Just physical memories. Physical memories are very good. Beautiful place, you know, I had my baby there, very nice doctor, but oh, what a lovely time we had. Oh, I wish I could go back to Mexico and live there. I had 2 maids doing my work. Those memories are not at all good for you, you know. Good, whether it's anything that's emotionally charged is not good for your mental health. It's just not good for you, and you've got to recognize that and say, that is psychological. I don't want psychological memories. I want only physical memories. So look at a photograph, and a photograph, whenever you look at it, it'll either trigger a happy response or a sad response. Every photograph. You'll think that this day was a good day, this day was a bad day. You'll remember those things, right? But you got to recognize that the emotional, the negatives, especially the negative, I would encourage you to use the positive ones, because positive ones uplift us, always, right? But positive ones to the extent that you don't want to go back. You're not longing to go back. Positive just that, that was a happy time. That's it, finished, end of it. Not that, oh, that was such a happy time, I wish I could go back to it, I'm so unhappy now. Look at me now, I've put on so much weight, look at my pot belly, I look so beautiful when I was young. You know, those things destroy you. What was gone, finished, gone. Physical memories, no psychological memories. Physical memories, no psychological memories. They bring you the best results. They really make you feel extremely happy. Have photographs around you that don't carry an emotional punch. Because every time you look at it, it'll mean something to you. It's a good thing everything's digital and it's all on your computer and you probably never look at it again. Right? Right? Because you could, like my daughter would always say, Dad, stop taking video, we have to look at it later on. So, these, like tapes and tapes and tapes of things that you never watch. And it's okay not to watch it really. That's gone. Once in a while you look at a couple of videos and say, small baby, very nice. But most often, all these things bring back, there's too much of living to be done. To be sitting in the past. So resolve to recognize when you're bringing the emotional baggage in from your memories. And resolve not to add too much emotion to the present. The minute you add the emotion, it's become an impression. And sometimes my mother says, you're a little bit hard-hearted. Don't you even care? She'll tell me. It's not that I don't care. It's that I recognize that that the investment of emotion is wasteful. Not always, sometimes. Sometimes. But it's wasteful. I do recognize that, and I'm able to not give so much of myself and make more out of a situation than it is. The time that I'll probably react is late in the evening when I'm exhausted, or just before a meal when I'm tired. That's when everybody will react to a situation. You want your day to be peaceful, you want your day to be calm. You have to recognize that your emotion is a very important part of the entire experience.